Welcome to the Casual Cast. I'm your host, Antonio,
and
and with us is
Guys,
Elias.
I'm right here.
the Haggard. Lit.
Welcome.
Hell yeah.
Getting this stuff rolling. So today you can see that we have a guest. His picture is in the middle. His name's Elias. He is casual complex. Give him a hand.
Lit.
So Elias, to tell us a bit about yourself. Who are you? What do you do? Where are you living?
I guess I'll start from now and probably work backwards because my brain is different. So, here in Japan, doing some English teaching stuff. Sometimes I teach all kinds of levels, but my main thing is here at some middle school. Um, Being out here, just it's been the dream, and I'm living it. I'm right here.
Heck yeah.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, man. Like, we're all working to, like, not exactly do what you're doing, like being in Japan, but, like, we're trying to be at your level. Because, like, it took probably a lot of effort, a long time to get to Japan, to walk your shoes and finally, you know live out your dream. Like, what made you, like, you know what, Japan, like, that's where I gotta go, like, that's the destination.
Yeah, so I could start out from like the beginning. My influences. So since maybe like I could like remember things well, I guess like I've always been influenced by other cultures, but especially Asian cultures. Always into Bruce Lee, martial arts flicks, and I was big into anime early on. Just exposure through Cartoon Network, Toonami, those things. Stuff was all dope, and it kind of got me started just because I dig cartoons, dig anime, and with the blessing of the internet, I don't know how I would have gotten into it without the internet. The internet made it easier. Like, oh hey, Japan, what's cool? What's cool?
Yeah,
And
totally.
that I got some more perspective. I've always been into like cultures and like stuff like Buddhism and different philosophies. So kind of core that I have in my being kind of attracted me to, especially Japan. Just what I saw of it, my perceptions, like, hey, they live amongst nature. They have festivals to celebrate of life.
Nature, yeah, spring,
Yeah,
or yeah, like
Sounds beautiful.
it's a different culture over there, because like you were like, talking about this on your vlog earlier, like about the typhoons over there, and like how people are more alert, their mindset is more aware about, like, all right, the weather's might, strike this area, so you know so what's it like adjusting to the typhoons compared to, like, well, where we're from is the desert.
one of the big things that helps is the mentality. So of course, like somewhere in the U.S., I feel it's more an individual look out for yourself type thing. Um, and I mean, you could rely on family, of course, and stuff. But out here, there's more of a community. You really feel that out here.
Hmm.
Like people come together in times, that are fucked up. Earthquakes, typhoons, like. And I mean, they live on this island where all this shit is happening, and you got to be tight with your neighbors and stuff. Otherwise, you ain't gonna survive out here.
For real.
Man.
That's cool. Like, how many? do you have like a really close neighbors that like speak English like at this or like that you chill with, or is it just coworkers that you're relying on to know about all this stuff?
Yeah, so my main lifeline, I suppose, is coworkers. So I have like like three coworkers that are, and that they know their stuff, so I could communicate with them easily enough. But they're also like my main bosses. They're Japanese, but they also speak English, so that helps out a lot. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
have to like try to translate this thing in the middle of a disaster. Like, where am I supposed to go? And this thing, oh, sorry, took too long translating. I guess I'm gone now.
Swooped up by the waves.
Yeah, so they help out a lot. But yeah, also like coworkers, like English teachers, having that connection where they have both language skills. Also, most people have like, even if it's a minimal knowledge, they all take like English classes when they go through school, like maybe up to high school, I think.
Uh-huh.
Knowledge, so I could like get something out or attempt to speak some kind of Japanese.
So
Yeah, man.
I had a quick question. So like, does this saying go around a lot over there? Like, what is it? If a nail sticks out, they hammer it in. Have you heard of that saying?
I've heard of it. I'm trying to think of situations where that could be.
So I guess I could ask it this way: do people really try to like not stick out? Here in America, you have kids always doing crazy stuff to like get some attention, or
Dyeing their hair.
talent shows and stuff. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Is it like toned down a lot over there in Japan?
I would say it's toned down. It's not necessarily like to an extreme, but there are certain, I guess, unspoken things like what's it called? Like people are very orderly out here. Like they respect the fact that, like, okay, if you're in like a convenience store or something, and don't just like try to shove themselves in there and like, oh hey, I've got to pay for my shit now. Like people wait, they respect the orderliness and that idea of like we don't really much like you follow quality and there's not as much what was that like nonsense hooligans. There are hooligans and stuff, but I mean, as of course, like if you compare it to something like America, like it seems kind of extreme out there, but that's
So I guess another question is, um, have you been able to tell like how the Japanese people feel about Americans? Like, what's their look on America? Their opinion?
I haven't really gotten much perspective on their views of America. I don't have much say on that.
Yeah. Probably because it's harder to like know those people, like the Japanese people, if you don't speak the language. Like
Yeah.
you're kind of confined to those people who only speak English, right? Like
Oh yeah, that
how,
makes sense.
how yeah, how has it been like trying to learn the language? Have you been like on a daily schedule on trying to figure it out, or
So when I get some time, I usually is through like writing out like online articles. Like I just, even if I don't understand what the hell it's saying, like I write them out just so I get exposure and the practice in. I have my resources. I have this pretty good dictionary here. Um, I have a visual dictionary that helps out a lot, and just being around it a lot, like
Yeah, because you're in it. You're surrounded.
Yeah, pretty much. Like you can't escape it. It's like right here. Like I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like to the post office. I go to the store. I gotta at least use a little bit of Japanese. Like I can't be like, oh hey man, where's this at? Like no, like you gotta what what is this? What is this word?
Yes.
This fucking item.
Fuck, for real.
So like, do you have like situations where you had to like look up stuff in the dictionary, like right outside the store, like inside the store, to like ask them something or?
Can't remember what it was. I remember one time I was looking for miso, something to make miso soup. So all I knew was like, I use sumimasen for like sorry and excuse me. So
Yeah.
you you get some clerk's attention. You're like, oh sumimasen, miso, and you know you don't even need to
Yeah,
locate it. Like
hmm
just that small nation. Like sometimes we think too much, so I just gotta make an attempt at least and work this. Like if the other party is willing, you'll figure out what the fuck you mean. What do you need? You know?
hmm Nice.
So, what are the pros and cons of living in Japan?
Cons. Um, cons. I mean, it's that what we just talked about. Like basically the language barrier can be a thing, and especially when you're official documents and shit. Like whatever that may be. I can't dive into that realm because my brain doesn't function that way. Even in English, I can think about oh, what these official documents, man. It's just a struggle all around. But language barrier is one. I guess being in a new place, understanding like how all that functions and where everything is. Other bad things, for me personally, it's like food and it's dope to get that like easily. But for a while I've been missing myself some good tacos de lengua and some Mexican food, man. Like
Um,
the craving.
we were just talking about that.
Shout out all the Mexicans out there.
Yeah, huge
Shout
fan.
out, you know, we were just talking in our last episode. What was it? Our favorite like home restaurant is Garcia's. Like straight up.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
what would you order from Garcia's? The one and only.
See, I don't know, dude. I'm like pretty dope burrito thing.
Exactly right. Like that's their signature.
Yeah, and I mean a burrito like it's pretty much an accumulation of a bunch of Mexican things. Like you could stuff that motherfucker with rice, some beans. This is there avocado. It just depends
Mhm.
on your thing, you know.
Exactly.
Like you know, it's like an explosion of the Mexican flavor.
Oh my god, that is
The Mexican
poetry.
signature. So like, have you ever like tried to make like a makeshift taco over there in Japan?
Um, not really. Honestly, like
They
cooking
probably
realm, I have no clue, and also like the ingredients are like different out here. Like it's pretty wild.
like I was about to say they don't have packaged tortillas over there. I'm guessing.
Well, you can make them out of flour. Like, does like Japan have flour there at least?
Yeah, there's flour. Like
Yeah, they
you could
should.
do that homemade hustle.
Yeah, the homemade hustle.
But yeah, dude.
But man, like I bet they don't really have like the Mexican spices that you would need.
Exactly.
You'd have to go like to some specialty like import store for that. Like and much so I don't look for that stuff. But I have a homie here that works for the company. He's like my immediate boss. He's from California, so all that shit and around Mexican people, so he knows that grind and how to cook that stuff, and he knows where to get certain things.
The homie hookup.
Exactly.
So, for my next question that I can think of, do you wear Vans at all? You know, do you have a collection of Vans?
So I only ever owned one
Just one
ones
pair.
with the yeah
What color?
they were the what did they have? It was like the black, white, and red ones with the fat fucking uh lip. I think that's what it's called. I mean, it seems like a lip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it kind of like a
Fat.
basketball shoe?
I'm not. Let me see if I could like find that real quick. Hit a quick Google search.
Yes.
But yeah, that was. I think that was in middle school. I always wear my shoes out. Like I wear them forever, and then you can't tell what it is anymore.
Oh my
They just fall
god.
off your feet.
Dude, I remember you and your brother, I think, shout out Robert.
Hell
Shout
yeah.
out.
You guys had these crazy kicks with the strap on them, and they were like green, white and black, or like red, white and black, and they were just the most banger shoes. What were those shoes, dude? What was the brand of those?
I don't know where they're from, but they're called Vlados.
Vlados, dude. Shout out to Vlados. Fuck yeah, dude. Those are bad. The Vlados shoes, dude. I'm gonna buy a fucking pair of these, dude. These are bad, dude. You know, I was talking about Logan Richardson, that jazz guy, earlier this week,
Uh huh.
and dude, I swear that guy was probably wearing these Vlados, cause I swear to God, he had these nasty strap on the front, and they were these tan banger shoes. I was like, fuck. Dude, I gotta get me a pair of these. Fuck yeah. These are bad.
Hey, send me a picture real quick.
Just Google up Vlados.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Velados? How do you spell that?
VLAD.
ADO.
Yeah.
VLVAL.
VO. The logo is like this lion looking thing.
Okay, let's see.
Dude, these are banger shoes. Like, if you wear those out,
Oh, I see
fuck,
what you're saying. Dang.
everyone's gonna be asking you, bro. I'm gonna get some of those, dude. Those are my next purchase right there. Sorry, Vans.
No, no, don't get started. See, Vans. See here. I think Vans has some stuff similar to the. Oh, like Vlados, like they have like this nice strap that goes across the.
It's the strap, dude. It's that, you know.
It's that.
You
that-
get
it's
the
that seal of authenticity.
you get the satisfaction of is it Velcro under there, or
Velcro.
yeah, dude. You get the experience. It's
Like, let
that's
them know you're here,
satisfying.
dude.
Telling you.
With these Vlados.
Exactly.
So you mistook these So you had Vlados, you didn't have Vans.
I had Vans also, but just the one pair. And there's the mainstream style that they have, which is looks just like a normal shoe with a little bit trimmed off.
Uh huh.
Um, the model, like I didn't know the name, but it was pretty mainstream around like the middle school era when I was.
Back when K Swiss was still a thing. Dude, like that's the early 2000s. Shout out the early 2000s. I'm telling you, that's the hype right there. That was a good time to grow up. Like what were the game systems? I had the PlayStation 2 and I was rocking freaking like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, SSX, like
I mean, dude, like 90s to early 2000s, like there was a boom in creativity and all this good shit coming out. Like,
uh
you said PS2, also the GameCube, that's the Melee era. Like,
I slept on it and I'm so upset about that because I love the fuck out of the 64 one, but my parents bought me a PlayStation 2 and my dumbass just all
hey
right.
man, I mean, that kept you entertained.
But the GameCube, the Smash Brothers Melee, shout out to Smash Brothers Melee. That's number one, and it's still the best one. Like Smash 4 doesn't have shit on that.
And it has this history, the ups and downs, like almost dying like 3 times, but like the community just stood behind it, dude.
And shout out to Armada. You know, he just announced his retirement. Like that guy was a beast, and he left a crazy mark during his reign. And he just now he's done with singles. It's like it's crazy, dude. Times are changing. You know.
There's a shift happening in the scene, slowly.
Uh huh. For real. Like I can't wait to see what ultimate like who's gonna be the god of ultimate because it can't be zero or like it's someone else is gonna step up and we're gonna meet a new face of Smash.
Man,
Fucking love this game.
Smash is a all-time favorite of many. Like those other games, like Mortal Kombat and all these superhero ones with like the classic 2D fighting where you can just shove someone in a corner and just beat them up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really into those, but Smash, they have like a great gameplay style, even if it's 2D. It's just like no other. Shout out to Smash. You know, they're,
For
they're,
real, it's
they're releasing a new game. You should definitely get it. It's gonna be for the Switch. Get yourself a Switch. Get yourself
Oh,
Smash, and maybe we can you know, play against each other. Heck yeah.
hell yeah.
Well, we should definitely do some streaming on some Smash, man. Like
Yeah, dude.
that'd be some fun.
I'm down with that.
We'll just get spanked by Elias.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Elias is like the reigning champion at Hazley's Rome, the game store in our town. Like, but man, this guy is a beast at this game. And you're saying you want to go to Evo this next year or what?
Yeah, so it's happening in February. So Japan had their first Evo ever this year. It was in August. I
Nice.
wasn't I wasn't ready for that one cuz like I was getting settled in and stuff, so
Yep.
I couldn't make it to that. But that's going to be an opportunity. But the schedule isn't solidified, so I don't know when everything's going to go down cuz of some day in February, and I have to make sure my work's not gonna get in the way of that, or I just kind of have someone fill in for me, and I'm like, hey man, this is the other dream. I have many dreams, homie.
Fuck yeah. So you talk about you and I have always talked about like having many ambitions, you know? Like I for me it's music. I have other things that I want to do like drawing. I want to
Yeah.
tour with my band. What are the different, you know, projects and things you want to accomplish like as Elias?
Right. So the art has always been important to me. Anything where you express yourself. So like art in general. So that covers things like drawing. Builds up and possibly just make some kind of comics or something, something that is uniquely me, an accumulation of my influences. So that's like the drawing aspect, and then music has always been important, love music, all kinds of music, and I want to create something, through all my experiences of life, everything I've listened to, and create something that is uniquely my own.
Hell yeah.
Like bust out like a fire album or something.
All kinds of things. Like right now, I'm in this amateur era where, I don't really know anything about music. It's around with multiple instruments because, like, I'm crazy and dumb and just want to go do crazy things, man. Just mashing stuff together that maybe, shouldn't work together and try to figure something out.
Yeah, make something your own.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
We're rocking
But
it, dude.
that helps lets me express myself. That's also why I started trying to do vlogs and videos, like
Mhm.
perspective, like, hey, this is me, this is my life, and this is how I express it, this is what I'm going through.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And where did you what's the name of your channel? Like where can they find you at? What's your and purpose,
Or
like, yeah, for that project? Like when did you start vlogging, and what's the name under that's under?
YouTube channel is called Casual Complex.
Nice.
um I've- I don't know, it says I have 50 videos, so I typically don't I never look back, I'm always looking forward, and
Mhm.
are good, I throw them up there, man. Like, you can't stop. Like, just because you suck, you can't stop.
Exact.
Exactly.
Man.
And that's what we're trying to like let people know is like we suck, we might suck right now like with our podcast, but like it's it is what it is, and like it works for now,
Yeah.
like we're getting our message out there, we're able to like
And
talk about whatever we want, like it doesn't matter, it's just us two rocking it, telling the world who we are, and just trying to promote the homies.
yeah, man, promoting, just building our XP, man.
Exactly. Any person that you look at that has been successful or left a mark in their craft, they all started from some point. There may be like the outliers, certain prodigies that just picked up a guitar or something. And they're just like, "Ooh," like, hey, I this is me. But a lot of people, they started with that, these frustrating areas where you're like, I cannot express myself truthfully with this thing because I'm not competent enough. I have to spend more time on it.
Exactly. Like we're working hard, like trying to put out more content, see how we can improve what we're doing. You know, we want to add like videos. We want to add, you know, celebrities. We want to get those, people featured on here. But we have to start here, and then we'll eventually get there.
Just being stubborn and just keep going, even if you don't see the results. Like, if it's important enough, you're going to keep doing it no matter what.
hmm
So Steven, what do you think is your like next goal, or like next thing you're up to? Like what's your next mission,
Like
you know?
project or like,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like project. What's your
oh
next
man, well,
thing you're trying to reach for? What are you hungry to get next? You know?
well, it all depends on like what you're talking about. Like, are you talking about family, or are you talking about like my music, or are you talking about just like anything in general?
Well, what are you trying to grab? What's
Like
the next
the number one thing,
next goal?
What comes to mind? What's the first thing that comes to mind when he asks, like, some kind of goal or thing that you want to get?
and one thing I really want to get, I'm really I've been really working on just getting a career, man. Like finding like something that I want to do for the rest of my life. I feel like I've been kind of like jumping around, like, oh, like, I'm gonna try the military. That seems pretty sick. You know what I'm saying? And then, I'm gonna. Right now I'm kind of trying out the post office, and I'm like, you know what? I don't like this. This isn't for me now. And now
Uh,
like I'm looking into like computers, man. Like I'm just trying to find my, like a career passion, something I can do for the rest of my life and not be miserable doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I feel you.
Yeah, just trying to find the right grind because I don't want to be stuck in one, and at the same time I don't want to take like forever to get there. You know what I'm saying? But
Well,
yeah,
that
that's
man.
that's I guess for like everyone, their goal is just to like learn more, become something better, and really that's my ultimate goal is just to like recreate like a new awesome version of myself and just keep doing that process over and over again. Like that's my ultimate goal is just to keep like redesigning myself, Steven 2, like version 2, version 3, version 100,
The
Yeah, just keep going.
exactly.
those updates, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like the updates you get on your games or smartphone. Yeah, that's my ultimate goal is just to never stop, man. Never stop updating, never stop improving.
So let me ask you real quick. How old are you?
I'm 21 years old.
Um, it's interesting how you mentioned that stuff like that because you said you feel like you're jumping around and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I might be over exaggerating, but it, like that's like first thoughts. When I look at like what I'm doing, I'm like, man, I feel like I'm just jumping from like point A, like oh I don't like this, jump to another point, don't like this, but
Uh,
I can see like that's common for someone my age, but that's just how I feel though,
you
because
you want that.
I feel like society like has like this image that you had to pick a career and just stick with it for the
Yeah.
rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's what's like making me feel this way. That like there's people that oh yeah I have a career. I've been in here for like 3 years. I have this much experience. You know,
Yeah.
but yeah, I just don't want to get stuck in something that I don't want to do. You know what I'm saying?
No, I definitely feel that. I've been like, I don't want to sound like, oh, hey, I've experienced all this shit, but like, I've been through that kind of thing too. Like, when I was going to college, I jumped around like my majors a lot.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
um, first started, I was like, hey, man, art is cool. Like, I'd like to do art. I took like two courses in community college, but once I got to university, I was like, wait a minute, this is gonna be like what's it called? It's gonna become work, like my art, and I don't want that. Like as far as like drawing and stuff like that. So other stuff, I was like, I contemplated, hey, I like music, but then I'm like, wait, that's just gonna be another grind.
uh-huh.
Hopped around a couple times, and I think it's okay, like you you gotta experiment, try out a couple things, try this. Oh, like that was cool, but that's not something I would see myself doing long term.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
This out, okay, like there was something initially that you respected or had you interested in a thing. That's why you tried it in the first place. And then
Yeah,
you're like, okay, now you see what it's about, like experiencing it, from the outside, you're like, don't know much. And once you do it, you're like, okay, actually, in reality, I don't want to do this forever. So
mm-hmm.
you try out different things until you like discover what that thing is.
That was exactly my process. You know, it's pretty funny. Like, you know, I was looking at the military. Kind of like how you're saying, like looking at something before you get started. And I was like, man, like, these guys, they're so they're cutthroat, man. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
they have passion. Like I feel like that's what I really saw. I saw passion in the military, man. Like these guys, they go out there and they work so hard and just
Yeah.
relentless. And that's what I wanted to be. Like I wanted to have like a strong a work ethic. I wanted to be relentless, unstoppable.
Yeah.
And heck, I went there. I trained. I didn't. You get all kinds of experience and there's all types of stuff that they throw you through, and it's a journey, man. It's really an adventure. Like if you want adventure and you're I don't know, you just want to give it a shot. It's pretty crazy, pretty fun. But
Okay.
you definitely learn like how to discipline yourself. You learn patience. You learn um, just how to keep improving, like always trying to like improve yourself. And that is one thing I can honestly say that I really loved about the military. There's a lot of things I didn't like, but that is definitely the number one thing is they always want to improve.
Yeah.
And
Okay, that's cool.
but you know they're really hardcore, man. Like they don't mess around. So and for me, I consider myself an introvert. You know, I don't really try to get into, you know,
Yeah.
crazy social life. Like you know, there's guys there who would be literally they would like party like 3 times like on a weekend. You know what I'm saying? Like in only 2 days they party 3 times. You know, get drunk, get wasted, socializing and all that. But me, I kind of like just staying home. You know, hanging out with my close friends rather than partying with a bunch of people I don't know. You know, I don't really like being the center of attention, but yet I like to play on the stage. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
doesn't really make too much sense, but I guess like in a social situation, I don't really like to. So
When it
that's really why like the military didn't work out for me because I wasn't as cutthroat as them, wasn't as passionate in the work that I didn't like I was doing.
Yeah, man. Like I noticed myself. Like I took that personality test, whatever that you sent me.
yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
and yeah, he sent me that, and I took it, and it on the test it showed that I was like 60% extroverted,
Oh
and
really?
I was like, what the heck? Like I'm not. Like I've been going through this. Like for anyone out there who's going through depression, you go through phases of you kind of become a recluse, you know, like you don't hang around anyone. You try to not be seen, you
Yeah,
know, or whatever. Like you try to isolate. Um, and so I was going through that, you know, this last year or whatever. And then I'm take this test, and then it says that I'm extroverted. It's like, you know what, I really am. Like back in high school, like I was more of a,
dude, you were, man.
more animated, more like outgoing, more in your face, pretty much.
Yo, man, I remember like when I pulled up there one time, I was like, "Hey, Antonio, like you know, I texted you, like we're gonna hang out," and this fool, he jumps. I roll down the window and he does a perfect freaking dolphin dive through the car window and just lands on the seat. Like that is definitely extrovert.
I don't know, man. It
Like
was
and there, man,
like
go
I
ahead, go
feel
ahead.
like there's like we're both introverted and extroverted. Like there's a line that we're trying to like be on,
Yeah,
you know,
Yeah.
and like we can harness ourselves to be on either side. But yeah, like I feel like I really am an extroverted person. Like now I'm trying to like get myself back in the zone, you
mm-hmm.
know. I started talking to this counselor, um, and he's really helped like give me a different perspective, you know, on things. Um, and like now I'm starting to feel like I'm in my shoes again. Like I can start talking to other people, and like for the longest time, like talking to girls has been like a nightmare. But you know,
Yeah.
now I'm able to like say hi, like my name's Antonio. What is your name? Like that shit.
Like
That shit used
starting
to
off with
be
the
a
basics.
dude. Like seriously, that shit used to like make me piss my pants. Like like it was really
Yeah.
bad for a moment, but now like you know we're slowly figuring ourselves out, and like I'm gonna hopefully match that personality, maybe not that exact personality test, but like you know maybe
More
I'll follow the guidelines and see you know how extroverted I really am,
sure. Like, who do you want Antonio to be? Like, pretty
yeah,
much.
yeah, exactly. And like I'm in this conducting class right now, so where the guy who waves his arms, and shit in front of the ensemble.
Yeah.
um like you have to be extroverted. You have to wave your arms. You can't be a little bitch, and just wave your fingers. You have to fucking know the music and tell them what to do. You have to be like, hey, this is where we're starting, this is what we're doing. And like to be like, you know all scared in your own skin, you have to let that go and you know be loose, be
Yeah,
going.
yeah. You gotta
It,
feel the
Yeah,
music while you're conducting. I
and
think.
it was keep going. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say if you're like overthinking, you're too critical, like you get stiff. You can't flow with the music, keep the rhythm, and that's important right there.
Mm-hmm. And that's what my professor told me. Is like, because I gave the instructions like really casually, like fuck it, like all
Yeah.
right, we're gonna start here and just follow me, like. Granted, I was kind of high, but she told me with these words, don't let the casualness uh let the ensemble get away of your control. You know,
Mm.
I just loved how she used the word casualness. I was like, it's like yeah,
Yeah.
because that's what it is. Because that's who we are. We're the casual cast. Shout out,
Shout out to the casual cast.
best podcast coming out of Grandview.
Shout out to Antonio and shout out to Stephen Bear. No, and a huge shout out to Elias again.
Yeah, dude, making
Like,
this episode like this is a very hype one, dude. I'm glad that we
you're our
got to
very
hear your
first guest.
perspective. Yeah, dude, first guest. It's hype, dude. If you want to be on another episode, holler at us. We'll be on Discord.
I'll hit you guys up every now and then and be like, "Hey, man, what's good?"
Yeah, whenever, man.
Give us the update on Japan, dude.
Yeah.
We're loving it.
And one thing I wanted to mention is like, it's quite important, to have a team, like here, right now, this is three of us, like we all play our role. Steven has, the technical know-how, but like me and you are like, we could give perspective on different things. We all have experienced different things. So,
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
know, to have this
Great.
venue, I guess, in a sense.
Uh huh.
Uh huh.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Shout out to Discord.
Yeah, shout out to Discord. Shout out to OBS for making all this possible,
Yeah,
making
for
it
making this
free,
possible.
so that people like
Yeah.
us can be able to, afford doing something like this.
Yeah, dude. Like we're mentioning, like technology has advanced so much, and like now that we have the pretty much make our own talk radio, you know, out of out of the technology that we have, it's almost too easy. Like,
Dude, like when I when I signed up for Patreon, like they had like a little welcoming video, right? And this guy's like, man, like we're living in an age where humans have have never experienced technology. Like before, like 100 years ago, basically like before like the 90s, or like no such thing as computers, no such thing. But like we're living in like the ultimate era, if you think about it.
it's pretty sick. Yeah.
Yeah, like this type of technology, with computers and all these different apps, have never existed until now. So like we have like a great opportunity to like, especially for artists to like express themselves and show their work.
Yeah.
So like we're all blessed, man.
Hell yeah.
It kind of sucks, how people have taken advantage of technology, for their own selfish thing. But man, the technology has done like so much good.
Yeah.
Technology. I feel like we talk about technology in every episode.
It's pretty much a high point because like everyone's influenced in their own way by it, whether they admit it or not. And if they're listening to it, you're just fucking you're following the path, because like YouTube's such a powerful resource, and to have like now we're pumping our shit out there. Elias has his shit out there, and like I'm hoping that all of us can like independently just grow, our own, thing, and work as a team to reach the next level.
Yeah, man.
The hype.
Man, technology.
Where are we at time wise?
We're at about 45 minutes.
Oh, cool. We got this.
We're
We
flowing,
got this.
flowing nice and smooth. Just gliding through this podcast
Yeah, dude.
with perfection.
So any notable trips that you're gonna be posting or talking about, Elias, or how's the whole Japan grind?
Let's see. As of right now, I have in mind is probably one that I'll go on with my girlfriend here in like November. Gonna go to this city called Osaka. Much of the details about that place, but we're going to planning to go to Universal Studios Japan, which should be quite wild and dope.
Lit.
Nice.
Sick. Yeah,
So,
dude.
and
So,
I try to travel every now and then, but like sometimes just too in the grind, I guess. But to go do something interesting like that.
hmm
Man,
so
someday, hey, man, Antonio, someday we had to go down there and visit Elias. So, Elias,
hell
like,
yeah.
are you planning to like make like Japan like a permanent, you know, a, your permanent residence? Like,
So let me think. I've been contemplating many ideas like my peak, like if I reach this high peak of like, hey, I'm dope, I'm like awesome at what I do and famous and I got piles of money, then I plan to have a home base over here and then one in Washington. I'm just that wild. But I want to establish something out here in Japan, especially so that homies can have access. Like, hey, I want to visit Japan. I don't know shit, and then I'm just like, hey, I'm right here.
oh, heck yeah,
Yes, that'd be epic, dude.
man,
The two.
the ultimate freaking journey.
So
Yeah, man.
like, how's Japan on your side of town? Like, I see you post like cool like Nintendo stuff or like anime shit, but like those shops are those like close by, or do you have to go to like a town that's like a minute away, or what's it like the town that you live in?
Okay. So in my town, they have this little shop. They sell like, hey, let me see. It's maybe 5 to 8 minute walk, honestly. And they sell TVs. They sell games, kinds of electronics. So that's what one of those stores is for. The other ones on the side that are like furniture, like home improvement type stuff. Like you got your light bulbs, your appliances, so washer, not yeah, washers, just anything you could use in your house, I guess, furniture. So they have one of those. I want to compare it somewhat to a Home Depot, but they don't necessarily have all that stuff, like all the wood and shit that at Home Depot. It's like Home Depot scaled down, just like furniture and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I have a store.
yeah,
The what's it called? Grandview, we have Safeway. Over here, they have this supermarket, which pretty much that a grocery store. And
Lit.
I mean, where everything is out here is its own thing, but it's dope just to see the different products and just try something new. Everything's nearby. Like I'm in a pretty clutch spot. So I don't know what other sides are like, but right here, I have everything I need within like 10-minute walk.
nice.
And how far is work, and what is your job like? What is your position at that place?
I'm gonna open the window real quick. It's hot as a motherfucker.
Hit that shit. Hit it.
Right, so work is also pretty close by. It's maybe like a 15-20 minute walk, but I most people know I'm a lazy boy when I can, so I just drive there. Maybe it takes 5 minutes.
Nice.
So
It's nice
we
having
start
work really close.
there, like you don't like the grind to drive maybe half hour or an hour. That's something.
It's work in itself.
Work before your work is what?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
dude, I know that shit. I used to drive
Hmm.
30 minutes from Grandview to Ted Brown Music. That fucking I hate that Tri Cities drive. That shit's bad.
yo,
Anyways, keep going. Or what were you saying?
over here on the Seattle side, it's worse
Oh God.
because the traffic's just terrible sometimes. Anyway, Elias, go ahead.
um. So yeah, I start work at like 8 a.m. and basically just in that office environment. Different than your American school. Like they have the desks or desks organized in a certain way. So all the teachers for like first grade of junior high school, they have them in one area, second year in one area, third year in another area. Then like you have your what and vice principal and that kind of stuff. So their organization is on point for that kind of stuff, and also as the students. So there's like the way the school is organized. So there's your basic floor at the bottom. So there's your first floor going up. That's where the third year students are. One second year students and the first year students are at the top. So they're the youngest at the top. And the thing is, each year you go down and get closer bottom floor, which means you're on your way out of the school. There's kind of like a theme there, which I thought was pretty dope.
Yeah, it's
Huh.
cool. I was like, it sounds like they're leading. It's leading them to their escape.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
But yeah, I mean, like classroom, I don't what's it called? I don't make the lessons myself. Like there's the main English teachers, the Japanese teachers, and I kind of just assist them on certain points. Like, okay, I want to use this grammar and make sentences using that. So we kind of just have a small conversation and use that grammar in practical situations.
oh,
Also, like when students are working on their stuff, they could just be like, "Hey, what is this?" Oh, yeah, that's this, and then we're good. Everybody's good. Or they tell me in Japanese, and sometimes I know the word, sometimes I don't, but we figure it out, and we both learn in that process. So it's pretty dope.
so has your Japanese like improved a lot living in Japan?
I feel so. One of the things I was thinking about a lot is like you said you're an introvert, and I so am I. So like I struggled a lot when I first got here because it's teaching. You're in front of people. You gotta
Oh yeah, there's like some
attention.
pressure to it.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, like okay, I gotta try to not shit my pants and like talk and just try to be as natural. And these are other human beings, and we overanalyze and just get paralyzed with that. So I think I'm beyond that now. So to be somewhat extroverted and talk like that has helped me a lot in and being a better teacher, but also like learning Japanese. Like you have to use it. Any skill, you have to use it to really like what I mean.
Yeah,
And I never really did that before. Like I would like the college years, that taught me the ideas and stuff, which is nice. But I never really applied it till I got out here, and just using it, being a little bit extroverted with it, a long way.
yeah.
Yeah, some new tricks. You have to like practice some more to get used to them. Like talking and having to introduce yourself and shit. You have to exercise that because as a teacher, you're consistently meeting a new like class of students, a new round of faces, you know.
Yeah.
And so you got to be on your toes and ready to say, "Hey, my name's Elias, and I'm here to help you out." You know, like
And like another thing I would say is like, there are your times to be focused and serious, but then you also have to like back away and be like, okay, well, if I make a mistake, it's not that big of a deal. We all mess up, and don't take yourself too seriously all the time.
exactly. Yeah, my fucking my counselor was telling me that shit. Oh, fucking a. Earlier this week,
Yeah,
on October 3rd, I come home from a long fucking day at school. I go from school from like 9 to 4, and so I get home to this letter on my fucking door, and the door. I look at the letter, and it says, "Did you forget? Rent is due at fucking on the 3rd at 8 in the morning. You cunt!" Like,
Did
yeah,
it actually
dang.
say that on there?
I wish it said "you cunt," but it basically felt like that, you know. And like, dude, I flipped out. Like, it says after that, um, anyone who's late on their rent owes another 10%, no exceptions. Like,
Man.
and so, like, I'm always like, I've never missed a fucking deadline. Like, this is fucking me up, you know. Like, I've never been late, and so now
Yeah,
I'm like freaking out. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, my fucking landlord thinks I'm a cock, you know. Like, they're gonna fucking smack me or something, you know.
Yeah.
But then I talked to my counselor about it, and then he said, "Dude, like, you're freaking out because you've messed once. Like, you're taking yourself too seriously. Like you said, you can't be like so on it. Like, oh, so worried about being punctual, being on time, being always on your payments or whatever. Because
yeah,
if you're too obsessive about being like that, then you're not. It'll fuck you up once you do like some shit like this does happen. But like, people fuck up. It's not a big deal, you know. It's once, you know. You can't take yourself too seriously. You have to be like in the middle, you know.
yeah,
It's good to care, but you can't let it like take over, you know, or have it be the focus of
Hmm.
whatever you're trying to do.
uh,
The grind out here in the casual cast.
The casual cast. So Elias, what's but before we head out of here, what's like something like you would like to let everyone know, like you know, inspire them or tell them about?
like if you have some goal that really matters to you, just go for it. Like you don't have to know everything about it. Like me, I didn't know heading out here. I was just like, hey, Japan is dope. I want to go there. You kind of just figure shit out along the way as you kind of absorb different information. Going to school and like, hey, this is school, and then like you just trial and error. Don't be afraid to make mistakes because that's the only way you learn. Like we're often too critical. Like we were just talking about that. We're often too critical of ourselves. Like away from that and just go out, experience stuff, and learn through making mistakes and figuring things out. Ask for help too. Like there's people that have been through that, and you could ask them and see what their experience was like. And
Exactly. Yeah, like I felt for the longest time going through my, depression or whatever, um that that I didn't need help, like that if I went to a counselor that, I'd be considered like a fucked up person or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, it's okay. Like you can ask for help, and I'm so glad that I have been going to this guy, like asking him for his advice, because having a counselor is definitely helpful. Don't be afraid to ask anyone for help, even your family. or a therapist, anyone, dude, because there's people out there who want to help you and help you accomplish things too. If you want to fucking go to Japan and study,
Yeah.
go to college and get that shit done, like Elias has, or go whichever path it takes you, because everyone does things differently.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think that's a nice note to All right. It's a nice little ending point. All right. So got you guys who stuck it out through the video, thanks a lot for listening. You know, if you if you like this video and you'd like to see more of them or listen to more of them, subscribe, hit that like button, you know, smash anything, subscribe or like, whatever's,
Shout out to Casual Complex.
Yep, shout out to Casual Complex.
Yes, that's me.
That's Elias, the one and only, the casual guru, the casual philosopher. So yeah, bring us
Yeah.
out, Antonio.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
On the next one, the Casual Cast.